Then, when he's doing that thing, you should put that phone on charge because I'll use it. And when he's done, you come and give me the phone. Okay, people should stop noise. Okay, guys, so thank you for your patience. I just did that on the... L'effet de levier sur un compte de $100, $200. Utilise un effet de levier de 1 à 400, maximum 1 500. Brother, please bound that door and let the baby stop crying. People should. I don't need noise here, please. I'm begging. So, we go straight to the DXY. So, ce qu'on a dit hier, c'est que quoi? On est en train de regarder force haussière pour l'index de dollar américain. Et on attend, on a vu comment le marché, on a pu analyser pour se retrouver là, on se retrouvait. Il y a beaucoup de différentes analyses qui nous disaient dernièrement que le marché s'y peut acheter. Hier, on a pu utiliser d'autres méthodes pour analyser le marché-ci. Et je vous ai montré en fonction du graphique de 3 mois, le marché était dans une mode un peu consolidative, où on a vu le point clé ici, qui était la résistance là-bas. And at the same time, we saw this support that was a key price level. We then went forward to say that this market is targeting a higher structure here. And currently we are in an uptrend, which starts from here below. So understanding this uptrend can actually give us a clear direction on the current state of the DXY. We went further to do some simple market analytical structure, which all of us know already. And we find ourselves that the DXY was in a more of a counter trend since the beginning of this year. So as the DXY was weak, we saw a couple of other assets like crypto and stocks that were very weak, that were very strong, making it possible for you to trade crypto and make money. Lorsque le dollar américain est faible, on voit le marché de crypto qui gagne de la valeur et les gens font de l'argent dans le stocks et dans les crypto-monnaies. En ce qu'on le voit depuis ici en 2011, le marché de dollars américain, l'index de dollars américain, montre une tendance haussière. Et on vient d'analyser le marché en utilisant ce qu'on appelle le market structure. Avec le market structure, on a pu déterminer, voir exactement ce qui se passe. Et on se retrouve que le marché veut regagner sa valeur haussière. Et ça peut nous guider maintenant à trader des autres couples de devises qui sont en relation avec l'index, avec le dollar américain. Donc, the relationship between the DXY is actually linked to 7 currencies. And now, the strength of the US dollars will help us to know what will happen on the other currencies in a longer time. In that sense, after we actually mapped our DXY analytics yesterday like this, we then find ourselves that the DXY is pushing up an uptrend. Furthermore, another analytical method could be used in this market. So let's say a trend line. A 2 diagonal point could be mapped, as you can see here, and extended straight to the upside. And you can see that a trend line can also be used to define this market movement. Price has to touch 1, 2, and we had a third touch. This is also another significance that the DXY is bullish. And this justifies my point on a bullish DXY. Furthermore, I said that for the fact that the DXY is bullish, and also we saw also a point of interest here, that was a sell to buy candle where we had the reaction of the DXY. Après tout ce qu'on a vu, on aura des structures locales qui vont peut-être ralentir le prix ils vont ralentir le prix, par exemple, ça va jouer directement sur le marché. Et on se retrouvait ici dans une vague haussière avec résistance locale comme le point ci, où le marché est en train de réagir actuellement. On a aussi une autre résistance locale. We have also a local resistance somewhere here. And we are looking at a bullish market in total on the DXY. And our main focus was to get a perfect zone where the price action could occur by understanding the current market movement to the upside and what drives it up. We can go to a smaller time frame. On peut aller dans notre time frame un peu plus petit pour comprendre le mouvement-ci. C'est bien et bien belle. Qu'on vient de voir un structure M. It's true that we have seen an M-shaped structure being formed here. But this does not mean that this market is going to continue selling because this market currently is in an uptrend. And we know that the resistance that is actually creating this M shape is a local resistance, which is normal for price to react on it. So one of the main focus is to understand the current market movement and what is happening in the current up move. Understanding the detail, the displacement of the current market will help us to be able to identify when next market can react. And in this sense, or in this reaction, we therefore went further to be able to break down this current market movement into other smaller structures. We then break down these to a low. Le structure baissière ici va créer une autre structure haussière ici. Et lorsque ça crée ça, ça vient créer une autre structure baissière ici. Et ça monte pour créer une nouvelle structure haussière loin ici. Et la structure haussière là comes down to create this low, as you can see. And then this low will move up, breaks the former height to create a new higher structure here. It means that we are in a pullback of this current market because this market that we are seeing est en train de créer certaines choses importantes. Et ce que ça crée, c'est quoi? C'est en train de créer ce qu'on appelle l'impulse de correction, impulses correction, impulses correction. Dans l'état actuel de DXY, l'index de dollar américain se trouve dans un état de pullback, de correction, actuellement, comme on est en train de se dire. Et on va se poser des questions. Où est-ce que le marché s'est en train de corriger pour aller? Et le point d'intérêt qui va attirer le marché-ci se retrouve dans la dernière vague haussière. Donc, ça veut dire que quoi? For this market to pull down this wave, which was the last pro wave, there must be a point of interest within the last pro wave that is actually bringing price to it. So there must be a point of interest within here that serves as a price magnet. Donc, lorsqu'on a une correction, il y a un point d'intérêt qui attire le marché vers cette pointée, tout simplement. On va passer à une autre étape. L'investigation de points d'intérêt dans cette structure. On va utiliser, écoutez-moi bien, we are going to be using different time frames to investigate, to check a point of interest, this last wave. Et je peux alors couper le marché-ci. I can now cut this chart. Here, je coupe, on se retrouve avec notre dernière vague. Sans influence, tout ensemble, on va chercher les points d'intérêt qui se trouvent dans cette vague haussière et qui peut attirer le prix. So together, we are going to search on the point of interest that is within this particular zone that can actually attract price before it take over to the upside. In that regard, comprenez-moi bien, lorsque je fouille un point d'intérêt, when I'm searching for a point of interest, what I do is that I can switch across different time frames for the search of a point of interest until when I have something convincing that has all the elements I need. Donc, On peut commencer même avec le graphique de 1 heure, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Mais la plupart du fois, c'est mieux de commencer avec un time frame élevé. Parce que les points d'intérêt trouvés sur le time frame élevé sont plus importants. Kind of interests that I can see on the bigger time frames are more important when we are looking at POIs. It carries more value than that we see on the smaller time frame. Lorsqu'on met le marché sur le graphique de une semaine, on regarde profondément et tout ce qu'on voit ici n'est pas vraiment ce qu'on entend. On voit un chandelier we see an indecision candle. So guys, I forgot to secure this Zoom. So let me quickly do that. So please, 1 minute. Okay. I've been able to secure the Zoom. This is because sometimes hackers are going to enter here and then disturb the whole Zoom. So I just notice and then I have to actually do that. So once I'm going on a weekly, what I can see here is this indecision candle. So we can now begin moving to a smaller time frame to see exactly if there is a specific zone inside this indecision. Je vois cette bougie de balance qui se trouve ici. À partir d'ici maintenant, ce que je vais faire, c'est que quoi? Je vais aller maintenant sur les petits time frames. L'objectif, c'est de faire quoi? Sur le petit time frame, j'aimerais faire comment? J'aimerais bien voir s'il y a des autres points d'intérêt. Je vous réponds, il y a quelque chose d'important ici. Lorsque vous voyez le point d'intérêt ici, c'est comme ça là sur le graphique de une semaine. But if I go to the daily, I will no longer see this particular pattern. I may see another point of interest within this one. Donc, ce n'est pas forcément qu'on va voir le même chandelier d'équilibre lorsqu'on passe sur une journée. So when we switch to a smaller time frame, for example, it is not a must that we must still see by an indecision candle. We might see a different POI within this zone. Vous comprenez maintenant? Donc, parce qu'il y a des gens qui me posent des questions. Sur le graphique de 1 mois, j'ai vu un fair value gap. Je passe sur le graphique de 1 semaine, je ne vois plus. C'est normal. Sur le graphique de 1 semaine, tu peux voir plus d'autre chose, mais qui est toujours un POI. Et ce qu'on appelle le quoi? Le POI refinement. On est en train de faire quoi? De raffiner le point d'intérêt pour trouver une zone plus équilibrée. So we find a zone that is more confident to trade. We switch to the daily time frame, and what I can see clearly on the daily time frame is this small consolidative fall here. I go down a little bit more on the 12 hours. On the 12 hours chart, there is nothing really big special. A part of this zone here, that was like a bullish engulfing, has already been mitigated. We go. We are on the 9 hours chart. And on the 9 hours chart, we see something important. We see what? On voit un chandelier de sell to buy candle qui est important. On élargit notre structure. Et on voit que le marché n'a pas encore mitigué à 50%. On descend encore. On est sur le graphique de 6 heures. Le structure là reste toujours visible. On descend à 4 heures. Notre structure reste toujours visible. On descend à 3 heures. Le structure là reste toujours visible. Maintenant, on descend à 2 heures. Lorsque je descends à 2 heures, je vois encore un autre point d'intérêt qui s'est créé ici, qui est un bullish engulfing. Mais je n'oublie pas que la grande totalité de structures avec beaucoup plus de liquidité is this particular zone here, which I'm going to mark slightly red. You see, even though we are going to have another PY here, but I got in mind that the bigger zone is this one. On descend encore, on a de fouiller pour voir. Ici, on a eu un fair value gap qui était déjà mitigé. On descend à 45 minutes. On cherche. À 45 minutes, il n'y a rien de bon. Ça veut dire quoi? J'attends le mouvement dans mon structure de 9 heures qui se retrouve en même temps. Donc, j'aimerais bien, lorsque le marché s'y descend, ça vient taper dans mon structure de 9 heures-ci pour que je dise que finalement, le marché s'y va gogo. Vous comprenez? Donc, c'est qu'actuellement, on était en train de regarder hier. Et voici ce qui se passe au marché, comme vous voyez. Vous voyez comment le marché passe, se déroule. C'est venu, regardez, vous voyez, le marché n'a pas pu toucher l'endroit-ci hier. Vous comprenez? It did not touch this zone yesterday. It's meaning that this zone is still very possible. Et quand je regarde, il y a une forme de liquidité diagonale. Parce qu'on est dans le même structure-ci. Ouais. Hello, Brenda. How are you? Good morning. Okay. Okay. December is when? Okay. Okay. At what time? Okay. When I'm done with the live, I'll look at it and then I'll try to ask my secretary to take the program and there. So, one problem. So, okay, I've got one. Okay, Charlie. So, je vois ici la liquidité diagonale, diagonal liquidity, because whenever there is this type of trend line that you see like this, liquidity is lying below it. Vous avez vu? Vous avez vu, non? Maintenant, je vais vous montrer quelque chose ici. Hein. I want to show you guys something here. Fredmont, weekly candle range. We are going to check that, no problem. Yeah, there's a weekly candle range that is normally has been created here. It doesn't stop the fact that we got our this thing here. So I want to call on your attention on something that is important. Candle range theorem is an entry technique, not an analytical method. Are you getting me? I don't know if you get. I'm going to differentiate that. Candlestick range theorem is what? An entry technique, most often, because if we were to look at candlestick range theory yesterday on gold, for example, the 1 hour, would have sold that market after. In fact, there's somebody here in this in the group. We are going to get to gold. I'll come back to there. But one of our students here was very vigilant yesterday. And after the live, I was like, this guy was very vigilant. Let me show you guys what happened there. On the 45-minute chart, you notice that there was a supply zone. It actually indicated, and this was a supply zone. And this inducement here was due to this supply zone. And we mapped it yesterday. And after we mapped this, the market was actually pushing into that structure. As you can see, it was pushing into the structure. So yesterday already, we were in this inducement zone here. Are you guys getting me? So anybody that shot gold up here yesterday was okay. It was okay. Very much okay. So we were on a sell, but some liquidity was grabbed because these guys, they did some nasty game yesterday. I will call it they played some nasty game here yesterday. And this nasty game was just to put out liquidity here. So our idea selling gold yesterday was not wrong. But we got ourselves in somewhere where liquidity was created, was absolutely being created. And that's what really happened yesterday. Liquidity got created. We're around the zone that yesterday. We're around this area. So we're around this area that yesterday. And what happened yesterday was that this market had to push a little bit. It was still within the zone. If we were trading a pair, let's say, GBUSD, you would have had no problem with that sell yesterday. But because gold is too heavy, any small movement is trouble. I mean, any small movement like that on gold is trouble. I mean, it's absolutely trouble. This was my structure I mapped in the morning. You guys are seeing. This is a structure I mapped on gold in the morning. The guys, they came and gave a double top there. This was a perfect fall. This fall here. This is a fall. This trade because I took here. It gave me about $150 with $30. So in fact, we are going to get there. As Fremont, I'm just to intervene with what Fremont said. The range, I've seen a weekly range, it's true, but we also need to understand that methods of analytics is also important. So the weekly range is there, and market has already swept below the weekly range. And if we are to consider this weekly range, we must be considering the closure of this 1 week candle. So from now, we cannot even conclude. We cannot conclude that liquidity have been wiped below the weekly. Because at the end of the day, this weekly candle might close it right down here. So that's why it is still valid in our analytics, because the weekly candle has not closed below that structure. We go back to what I was trying to explain to you people. So we go back to the movement, because we are trying to get our path from the DXY today. We're trying to get our path. So there is normally diagonal liquidity hanging here like this. And where I stopped, I wanted to show you guys why I choose to draw my trend line, because some of you would have expected me to take this week of this candle here. I guess it's me. Some of you expect me to take this week, which is also correct. But I had to take this body because I see that there's small noise here. So I consider more of the line chart. So immediately this candle was broken. You see, this is simple price action. Oh, you see a break, retest, market sell for how many hours? 2, 4, 6, 8 hours. Like I say, so market now is back, because looking at everything we are seeing here, there is a huge possibility that the DXY is still in that bearish sentiment. Are you guys okay with that? Because let's go together. Are you guys okay? Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord d'abord que le DXY est toujours à un mouvement baissier? Est-ce que vous êtes d'abord d'accord? Is everybody okay with that fact? Est-ce I'm waiting for your comment. Oh, est-ce que vous êtes d'accord? Please, let me get your opinion. We have different bosses. You have different people with different opinions here. I'm saying that, are you okay with the fact that we are still bearish on the DXY? Even though we had this sharp push yesterday, are you still okay with the fact that we are bearish? Look at it. Let me get your opinion. Oh. By January, we are going to be doing things big. Hmm? I believe that now people are now seeing how things have been done, how analytics have been carried out. And I'm happy to the fact that we are learning. Quelle paire de devises qu'on analyse à la cherche chez moi et si je ne trouve pas à MT5? Tu utilises quoi? Un compte démo, un compte XNext démo, DX, tu dois taper DX, DXY, DXY pour trouver ça. Donc, so from here, the US session has a lot because we are almost in the range here. Mhm. So we are going to be seeing the range. The London here is a range. Are you guys getting me? So now, since we are still buried. In fact, sorry, we are still bearish on the DXY. We need to consider also the current bearish state of the market. Are you guys getting me? So we're gonna get this. I saying. So what we do here is that we want to also understand how this market has been selling because we are still in that sell mood and we have confirmed that we are still in a sell. So we can use analytical method because the market is trending now. Either we use a trend line or we use basic market structure. If we were to use basic market structure, we start from the high. When we draw the high, we check the lowest structure that is high created. Eh? So we go from here. dit ce que vous voyez ici, là. Vous voyez, non? Vous tapez DX. Ça, c'est Y dans ce coin-là. Ce que vous voyez, voici le symbole que vous devez taper sur votre MT4 ou MT5. So, we leave from here. It goes thus. Pop. It creates a low here. And here it creates a high. So go like this, and we move down. Here we create a low, and here again we create a high. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the next low here. And here we have the next high. Et vous voyez, parce que tout ce qu'on fait, c'est là, c'est pour nous retrouver. C'est pour nous retrouver dans l'ordre. All what we are doing here is to find ourselves in the right order. So you guys are seeing that the last wave was this one. We're having a retracement of this last wave. So we now ask ourselves a question. Where is this market pulling back to? Question mark. Where is this market pulling back to will be answered by a POI that will serve as a magnet. Are you getting to me? That can serve as a magnet within the last pro wave. We have a trend line that is passing, it's true. The trend line has played our own role. The trend line has played our own role. Tu dois voir le DXY. Tu dois normalement voir le DXY. Donc, we can switch this time frame in search of our So, what we do here is that what? On doit changer pour trouver notre point d'intérêt. I switch. We are looking to see if we have a point of interest. We can go back to the 9 hours. On a été chercher. On a cette. Je vois, I'm seeing this particular candle here as a huge target. Allons à 12 heures. À 12 heures, on voit la même structure. À 9 heures, on voit la même structure. À 6 heures, on voit quelque chose un peu raffiné. So we are seeing this structure well refined. So this can be a perfect target for this market. This structure here. So this market needs enough liquidity to continue to the downside. And this is what we have. So here we have a local resistance. Je veux réduire. I'm going to reduce the intensity of this one here. Maintenant, on a cette résistance locale. Ici, c'est une résistance locale. On a cette résistance locale, là où le marché est en train de réagir actuellement. On a notre point d'intérêt ici en haut. Our POI ici. Vous avez vu, non? Donc, on a le trend line, on a la résistance locale, on a notre POI. Donc, à temps actuel, maintenant, à l'heure actuelle, et comme on va se retrouver en train de faire, c'est que quoi? Le marché, c'est en train de créer quelque chose qu'on appelle consolidation, l'accumulation. Donc, on est en train de trouver une phase accumulative actuellement. Et ce qu'on est en train de se dire, c'est que le marché, c'est à une très forte probabilité de accumuler ici, balayer la liquidité pour ici, et avant de chuter. Donc, c'est ce qu'on est en train de dire actuellement. Donc, actuellement, on est toujours dans un sens what about the head and shoulder pattern. The head and shoulder pattern is seen from which time frame, please? The head and shoulder pattern is seen from which time frame?
Boss Ronnie, looking at it, I'm looking at, I don't know if I'm the only one who is seeing it, but I feel like this wave, impulsive wave to the downside, and then a bit of consolidation before it went down to form what looks almost like a head. I just wanted to confirm if that is a left shoulder, the head, and then this is the right shoulder that is most likely forming to go back to the upside.
Okay. It's still a valid pattern to our final move. Yeah, it's still a pattern that is giving what we are thinking. To complete the inverted head and shoulder. Are you guys getting me? So this is what we are planning as far as the DXY is concerned. So this is what we are planning. So this is what I'm holding as far as the DXY is concerned. Monsieur Olivier, suis d'abord le cours, suis d'abord le programme. Après le programme, tu peux essayer, tu peux appeler sur WhatsApp en vidéo, tu partages ton écran, on va t'aider. Parce que actuellement, ce qui est important ici, c'est de comprendre ce qu'on est en train de faire. Ce n'est pas d'ajouter le DXY sur ton MT4. Parce que tu vois déjà sur ton écran ce qu'on est en train de faire. Donc, après le cours, tu pourras ajouter sans problème. Et je vous ai dit que tout le monde crée un compte réel. Toi, tu es dans le compte démo d'abord. Maintenant, good question from Madame Prudence. He says, can we consider the drop-based drop, which is correct? Now, this is the basal structure that she's asking us to check about, which seems quite valid. But now, when we go on a higher time frame, do you see this drop-based drop? Let's say on the 6 hours. The drop-based drop is there, but it shows that it is a more liquidity creation, a zone for liquidity creation. So it's possible that there can be a reaction there. It's possible that it can turn there, but based on what we are looking, as we have said, it is hugely likely going to be a zone for liquidation. But if the market turns here and doesn't go to where we are expecting, we will still know. We get. is on MT5. It's the MT5, so now MT5. So this is what we are looking forward for. In this regard, guys, Euro USD. Who remember this yesterday? Euro USD trader we did yesterday. The entry got validated and nobody was there to collect. I was seeing this was what we did yesterday now. Euro USD. I told you guys that there was liquidity above this and the market has gone and plunged into that structure. So if at all, because we are looking further to buy this market even more because there's a lot of liquidity above the structures. But now, if the XY need to sell again, donc si je coupe ça comme ça en deux, donc si le DXY doit encore acheter pour venir ici, ça veut dire que Euro USD va aussi vendre un peu plus davantage. Donc, ça veut dire que ça va chuter davantage. Et ici, actuellement, what are we looking for now? We are going to look for a trade on Euro USD. And the concept here is simple. If at all, DXY, let me show you the defining zones. If at all, if DXY break above this defining zone, donc voici les conditions qui nous suivent. Écoutez-moi bien. We are going to look for a sell on Euro USD, a short-term sell. That means we don't be long in the trade. It's going to be a short-term sell. Let's say 50 pips. We are going to be taking a sell on Euro USD if this market breaks above this range. It breaks, it's like we test. Then what we are going to do is we are simply going to take a short on Euro USD as it settles below this channel because it has grabbed the liquidity above the channel. So, but we are not going to target the low. So, if everything being equal, and this guy is able to, it breaks, then we as well, we are going to be taking a trade on Euro USD. So here is the consolidative base, but we are going to be taking order from the DXY. to react. So like now we cannot react on anything. So we'll look for an entry when it be. So in the case of GU, this is GU, and I believe that most of these trades are going to be ripe, mostly during the New York session. That means most of this validation that we are looking at now. Le JBP, pour moi, le mouvement n'est pas vraiment... Le JBP, le mouvement de JBP actuellement est trop consolidatif, comme vous voyez. Ce n'est pas encourageant. Si on regarde EUR USD, sur le graphique de 9 heures, vous voyez qu'il y a beaucoup de volume, il y a beaucoup de mouvements. Donc, en effet, on ne va pas aller pour trader GBP USD, mais on va se focaliser beaucoup plus sur EUR USD parce que ça a le meilleur price action. Donc, on garde à côté l'autre. En ce qui concerne l'or, comme ça on se dit, pour l'instant, on laisse l'or tranquille. Hein? On le laisse dormir tranquillement. On le laisse dormir tranquillement. I hope you guys have seen what we are targeting for EU and the periodic conditions that we have been able to set as far as Euro USD is concerned. So we are waiting. Euro USD can actually lead us to a sell, if and only if the conditions that we have been able to put there is met. And we are only going to be looking into those conditions. That means we're only going to be taking the trade if those conditions that we've been able to state are being respected for Euro USD. I hope it's making some sense. So as I've said, I'm not going to be leading anybody into gold. Because I know what it can do. It is very volatile, it's true. It is very volatile. It can come to the structure where I have marked. Yes, it's true. It's very volatile, but I'm not leading anybody into it because I know, apart of it being volatile, it is not far from being a small devil. I will not be leading you to trade gold. Yes, you can. No, we cannot use pending order. We want proper trigger. J'aimerais qu'on voit un trigger avant d'exécuter. I don't get for any fun of that. Yes. The guys are different like one weekend at night. The ticket at night, ticket at night. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna look other pairs. I said I'm not leading anybody into goal. No, I'm taking it to my class. I'm not leading anybody to goal. So while waiting to see what is going to be happening on the other side, the yarn basket is worth it to check now. The yarn basket has always been falling all this while. There has always been a downtrend. The yarn is always getting weak, 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 weak. And the long-term target for the yarn basket is even here. So if you want to look at the yarn basket, a resistance structure is being targeted. So yarn is in the downside. So it's weak. The yarn basket is weak. It is true that the yarn basket is this is trying to mitigate. Tenter de vouloir mitiger un structure ici, mais c'est baissière. Donc, il n'y a rien que tu veux dire que, OK, ça va acheter de là. Non, c'est beaucoup plus baissière. Yeah, gold is selling now. Gold is selling. Gold is selling. It moves exactly based on what I myself I did in the morning. You can see this is the liquidity line, and then this is a targeted week where gold is going to be targeted at 50%. So it's still bearish. On gold is still bearish. But I'm not taking like asking anybody to take a trade on gold because one, people are not respecting the account sizes and they can actually not withstand because this is where gold is targeting and it's going to move further down to target it. And if you are looking at gold, you are going to see exactly what I did in the morning. This is what I did. this was the structure, like the line that he has broken, retested, and this is from where he started selling massively. And we are targeting a lower zone, like right down here. So that's what we are looking at as far as gold is concerned. So gold is still possibly going to drop. If I'm to ask anybody to do anything on gold, it will be when I've seen that gold is buying. Okay, I know what is going to be happening. On the 1 minute, the guy is just falling like bread. So we are going to be looking at other pairs. There are so many pairs and there are so many opportunities that we can grab. So I'll go for the GBP Japanese, USD Japanese and GBP Japanese yen. So here we are on GBP Japanese yen. This is another good pair. When you grab it, it goes. So the way market came and reacted on this trend line like crazy. Pop, then move. We are already stand on this GBP Japanese yen at the moment. You know, the US dollars is actually weak. DXY is selling. Maybe it's what is going on the DXY because so we might look a short on the on USD Japanese yen soon. So we are going to look a short on it. So if our DXY comes to this POI and start to sell, then GBP Japanese yen should be on the radar. So let's just take it very well. Let me take the guy up. I'm seeing a very swift movement here. Very interesting movement for the past few days. Targeted this block here. So there's a huge possibility this market will drop down to this. We're taking off. So we are going to look for a possible sell on this. So we target our wave. Now Vasil Vago BCM. So I want you guys to look and then tell me, propose your point of interest here. Let me see. Look and propose to me. What do you see as point of interest there? Me, I'm simply seeing this consolidative zone here. Yeah, the small consolidation zone. The small consolidation zone. So we are on the 45 minutes. So if the DXY, so because if as the DXY is going up now, that's how this market is also getting strong. So the XY is reacting on this particular structure. As I said, if it fails to target our structure here, then we'll know what to do. But if it breaks above there, we're going to know what to do. It's very important. So doing the overlapping session is best. Doing the overlapping session is best because the volume is really high. So the trigger on Evo USD is very important. We are going in for a sell, but that sell is only going to happen if and only if the XY breaks above this consolidation. If the XY is actually stopped on this base, then it means that Evo USD is going to do what? It's going to buy back to the upside. So it's going to be like a break and retest of this zone. And we can also still look for a buy opportunity on Euro USD. So in either way, we are waiting. So the XY is going to tell us the next move because we're in a consolidative or accumulative zone. But we've been able to put our bias. That means where best we think we can react. That's our bias. That's what it means by our bias. Where best we think that we can react is our bias. So our bias is where best we think that we can react. So today is going to be a very long day because we are doing both the New York session and the London session. That means at 1, we will still be back to continue. And I believe that these entries are going to be it will make more sense to us during the London session. But even during the break, we need to be very observant in the group, because if you're in the main group, if there is anything, because I'm on my chat, I'll just alert you to take the trade. I'll send you the signal to execute. If you're in the group, please be very patient and be viewing on the group as well, because if it actually triggers, we'll tell you before you're coming back even. Lesson on how to place trade. Those were how to use MT4 now. How to use MT4. Those were the first lessons. So we are not going in for GU because the volume is very low. How to put stop loss and CP. Stop loss is based on, let's say, for example, right? Let's say we decide to execute this trade here. Your stop loss, if you are selling this market here, on this point here, your stop loss normally has to be above the last structure, this one. This is where your stop loss needs to lie. Anything? They call me. What's that? Which phone? That's for 40. Hey, this is customer waiting. That's just for customer for you. Based on okay, I'm done. So this is where your SL is supposed to be right above here. So now if you want to look at your SL here, if you are shorting this market here, your SL need to be above this zone. So your SL is about 55 pips. If you try this on gold, you will die. This distance on gold will kill you. But on EUG, there's no problem. If you are saying, okay, you are just going to sell this market without confirmation, you can sell here. Your SL will be right up here. There's no problem. So your SL is hidden above a structure or below a structure. Then your take profit will be before the next structure. So here is the next structure that can stop this market. So this is where your first TP will be. Because if this market sells and get here, it can stop here. So this way you can put your TP. If you are selling this market. Same as also, you have an internal structure here. If you are buying this market from here, your SL can be below this local structure and your take profit can be above this structure here, can be here. If you are buying, your TP will be here because there's a structure here. Your SL will be hidden below this structure. Same as other people will come and hide their stop loss here, which is not giving space for the market to breathe. You get. So you guys see that we cannot just be there and then we are burning data for now. That's why we need a coffee break. And this is what we are observing so far. So you guys have seen how we break the chart. We have seen our expectation, what the pair we have selected because of the volume, what we want to trade today. So we need to follow up because the next few hours would be the activation of your trade and you enter your trade. That's all. So guys, I will see you back at 1 after the coffee break. be attentive in the group. And if the trade goes before then, we'll update you and we'll tell you to trigger in the main community. So see you at